Can you build muscle while fasting for 16 hours a day? Or will that eating window quietly turn your bulk into a fat gain phase? The answer is yes, you can bulk on 16.8. But fasting is not the reason it works, and it will not protect you from overeating. If your calories, protein, training, and recovery are wrong, an 8-hour eating window will not save the result. Today, we are separating the useful tool from the fitness myth. A 16.8 schedule means you eat within an 8-hour window and fast for the other 16. It is a meal timing structure. It is not a special metabolic loophole. For some lifters, the structure reduces random snacking and makes a modest calorie surplus easier to control. For others, it creates hunger, rushed meals, poor training sessions, and late-day overeating. The best schedule is not the most hardcore one. It is the one that helps you repeatedly execute the fundamentals. The direct research on fasting, while deliberately bulking, is still developing, so confidence should be measured. But the available data are encouraging. An 8-week study in well-trained men and women used 16.8 eating, a 10% calorie surplus, high protein intake, and progressive resistance training. It found that this approach was viable while participants developed muscle size, strength, and endurance. A 12-week randomized trial published online in July 2026 also reported maintained muscle and strength gains alongside lower fat accumulation in a 16.8 bulking phase. Promising? Absolutely. Proof that fasting is magic? No. These are relatively short studies, and your real-world result still depends on execution. The real lever is your calorie surplus. Muscle growth is slow, especially once you are trained. Fat gain can be much faster. Research in resistance-trained lifters suggests that faster body mass gain is more clearly connected to increases in skin fold thickness than to greater muscle growth or strength. Translation: force feeding is usually a bad trade. Start with a conservative surplus and aim to gain around 0.25 to 0.5% of body weight per week. If you are advanced, use the lower end. A 180-pound lifter might aim for roughly half a pound per week, rather than several pounds per month. Slow gains are not a lack of ambition. They are precision. Do not judge a bulk from one big meal, one salty day, or one mirror check. Weigh yourself under similar conditions each morning. Then use a 7-day average. Measure your waist once a week. Track your key lifts. Take progress photos under the same lighting every few weeks. If body weight is flat for 2 to 3 weeks and training is moving forward, add a small amount of food. If your waist rises rapidly, your average weight jumps too fast, and performance is not improving, pull calories back slightly. This feedback loop matters far more than whether your first meal is at 8 a.m. or noon. Protein is your second non-negotiable. A large meta-analysis found that benefits for resistance training gains generally level off around 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day, although a practical lean bulk range is about 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram. You can reach that in 8 hours. Use 3 or 4 protein feedings, rather than trying to rescue your entire target with one enormous dinner. Break the fast with a protein-rich meal. Have another feeding before or after training. Finish with a final meal or shake if needed. The problem is not that your body can only use a tiny amount of protein at once. The problem is failing to hit enough total protein day after day. For hypertrophy, quality training is the signal. Do not sacrifice that signal to make fasting look tougher. The simplest setup is to train inside your eating window. After one protein and carb meal and before another. Carbohydrates can support hard training, especially when volume is high. Put a substantial meal before training if it helps energy and focus, then eat protein and carbs after. There is no need to panic about a minute-perfect anabolic window, but there is every reason to avoid repeatedly training under-fueled if your performance suffers. Strong sessions, progressive overload, and recovery are what give your food somewhere useful to go. Here's a simple template. Use a noon to 8 p.m. eating window, or shift it to fit your work and training schedule. At noon, eat protein, carbs, fruit, and vegetables. Around mid-afternoon, have a lighter meal with protein and carbs. Train in the late afternoon or early evening. After training, eat your largest meal. Protein, a carbohydrate source, vegetables, and calorie-dense additions, if you need more energy. Before the window closes, have a final protein-focused meal or shake. Need more calories? Increase food gradually with easy additions like rice, oats, olive oil, dairy, nuts, fruit, or a smoothie. You do not need a cheat meal. You need repeatable meals. 16.8 is optional. Expand the eating window if you cannot eat enough without discomfort, your gym performance declines, fasting triggers binge-like behavior, sleep becomes worse, or the schedule creates more stress than structure. A 12-hour window or regular meal timing can build just as much muscle when calories, protein, and training are matched. The goal is not to prove discipline by suffering. The goal is to create a system that you can execute for months. So, can you bulk on 16.8 without getting fat? You can bulk on 16.8 while minimizing unnecessary fat gain. Use a small surplus. Hit your daily protein target. Train hard enough to earn the food. Place meals where they support performance. Track trends, not emotions. And if fasting makes those basics easier, use it. If it makes them harder, let it go. The winning bulk is not the one with the most extreme meal timing. It is the one you can execute consistently.